Hi everybody, happy to see you again. I just wanted to let you know what we're going to be doing today. This is going to be a little different. We are going to be doing one of the Alexander wet on wet paintings. It's of a mountain scene. We are going to be using oils for this, and it's almost like the Bob Ross method, but William Alexander was the original person who started that wet on wet, and Bob Ross just followed him and he became more successful. But I became certified in the Bob Ross method a few years back, and right after I got certified they changed it, and I think William Alexander would probably turn over in his grave if he saw what was going on now. But he did some really beautiful work, and he began this wet on wet method, which was really a unique method, something that anybody could really do, and he just made painting easier for us. So without further ado, we're going to get started, and we're going to start out with a 16 by 20 canvas, and I hope you enjoy this today. So I'll be right back with the information that we need and how we're going to start this. All right, thanks. All right, for the first thing that we want to go over are the paints that we're going to be using for this painting. Now these are Alexander paints. You could probably use any type of oil paint, or you could use the Bob Ross paints, similar. Bob Ross kind of copied everything that William Alexander had, because Bob Ross was William Alexander's student. So we're going to start out with titanium white. Now the Alexander, like I said, it might be more expensive, it might be cheaper, I don't know. I haven't been on the website for a while, so I don't know how they're doing this anymore. We have the phthalo blue, we have permanent red. We're only going to use a few colors, and it looks like it's all basic colors here today. And we're going to use cad yellow, and this is a hue. It's a little safer. We're also going to be using the magic white. If you can see that, it's pretty crappy from all the years of use that I've used this. Actually, when I was doing this method, I bought all these things, and it just, like, I've had them sitting here, so you have to, yeah, some of these might not work as well as I'd like them to work, but we're going to see how it works. Now, of course, we're going to have our palette, and I also have, this is how I open some of my paints these days, is with a nutcracker. It kind of helps to twist off the caps, because my hands are not like they used to be, so I'm just going to kind of twist these off a little bit so I can get them started. Ooh, this one's a little tight. Ugh. But they're still good shape. I mean, these paints hold up for years. They'll work forever. So I use a nutcracker to open my paints. Kind of silly, but it works. It works. All right. And then I have a little can of mineral spirits here. That's how I'm going to wipe off my brushes. The reason I don't do a lot of oils, I do not like to, that's odorless actually. If you have to have a really open area for this, breathing in some of this can be toxic for you. William Alexander, kind of like his paints were pure, or not as toxic as some of the other paints that, you know, are used today. And the only thing that I worry about is the mineral spirits, because that is a little bit more toxic, and a lot of people use that when they're painting. There's other things that you can use to clean your brushes, but for today we're going to just use this. You can also use baby oil to soak your brushes and clean them. It cleans it pretty well. For some reason, baby oil works well. But for today, we're going to use the mineral spirits. So I'm going to start out here with a blending brush. A blending brush is about 2.5 inches wide. Sort of looks like a paintbrush. And we're going to go into our magic white. And I'm just using it right out of the jar. And we're just going to put on a thin, nice coat. We're going to work this heavily into the canvas. pressing hard. You want to make sure that you get it covered pretty well, but you don't want to have it so thick that it's running. So you have to watch how you're putting this on. So what you're going to do is like go vertically with this. Then you're going to work it in horizontally. But you want to press very hard. Make sure that the whole canvas is covered very well with this. And if you can see, you'll see, if you look sideways, you can see areas that you did not cover. It's better to cover it heavily, and then we can wipe some of it off with paper towel if we need to. So we're going to go vertically. We're going to go horizontally, making sure that this is all covered and heavily put in. And if you get any little hairs on the canvas, you know, just get them off. It's not going to hurt anything. Sometimes the brush bristles come off. See a little area that I missed with paint or this magic white. So you see I'm going across, pushing very, very hard into the canvas, making sure I get every nook and cranny. And then we're going to go horizontal. Now, one of the interesting things about this is you can actually tell if you have too much on here, and I'll show you what you need to do. But I want to make sure that's very much in there, getting all these little hairs out. Just brush them off to the side. They will come off without an issue. And you want to kind of move your phone so it doesn't get all messed up. I have my phone in the way. I shouldn't really even have my phone in here, but I just want to make sure I don't miss any phone calls, because I have a doctor's appointment this week and they may call me to verify that I'm coming in. We have a nice coating on here. I don't see any spots of canvas showing. Alright, so I'm just going to set that aside. So you want to get your index finger, and what you're going to do is just press into that. Now, if you see how that is, that looks pretty good to me. You're going to see a couple, you know, you want to see some of your fingerprint show, and I think that that's pretty good. Just go over that again. Making sure that we got that all nice and smooth. Because like I said, if you don't have that on correctly, what's going to happen is the paint's just going to roll off. It's not even going to stay on. So let me do another test here, maybe down here. Do a couple spots. You know, if you feel that it is not thin enough, you can get your paper towel and put it on here and just smooth over here like this. And that'll take some of that off. Then you know that you have it. Oh, that's much better. This is much better. Actually, that's the way it should look. I think I had it on a little too thick. Alright, so I'm going to start putting out the paints on my palette. I just have a paper palette today. And I'm just going to put my white. Put my white on. I'm going to put my phthalo blue out. It's amazing that this painting only takes basic colors, and you can do so much with basic colors like your blues and reds and yellows. You mix those up And you can put, you know, I mean, you can make all sorts of colors out of the basic colors or basic shades. So I got my colors out onto my palette, as you can see. I think that'll be quite enough. Alright, so our first step is we're going to do the sky and the water. Now, I did not rinse out my blending brush. You want to keep that dirty. Don't rinse it out. The magic white is still on there. And we're going to mix a little titanium white with some phthalo blue and cad yellow. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to get a palette knife. Any type of palette knife will do. I'm going to pull some of that white. I'm going to put equal parts of white and the phthalo blue. Mix that. Now this is kind of dark, so I might want to go a little lighter. And you're just going to put a touch of the cad yellow in there because you don't want it to get green. You don't want it to be green. So you have to make sure that when you do this, if you can see what I'm doing here. The nice thing about oils is they do not drip. So I want it nice and light, or kind of lighter, but we can start out with this, see how it works. Scraping it. Get a little bit more of that white in there. That phthalo blue is pretty tight. You know, it's pretty, the value is very, very deep. Okay. I might add just a little bit more of my yellow, just a tad more. Because like I said, I don't want this to be green. Well, I think we have a nice shade now. Nice value. Yeah, the phthalo blue is very intense. Okay, so we've got our blending brush. And we're going to start from the top. Work down. I'm just going to load my brush. So I've got it pretty good here. I just want to make sure it's all in there. Back and forth I go into my paint. Alright, we're going to start without this cleaning. We're just going to apply it to the upper third. So we're going to just pretend that we know what the third is here. So we're just going to go in here and we're going to make crisscross strokes. Crisscross strokes. See how it is? Just crisscross. Just nicely crisscross these strokes. And as we go down, it's going to get a little bit lighter. So it's going to be darker up at the top. And because we're applying more pressure on top, we want to apply more pressure on top. And then as we go down to this third, our imaginary line here, we're just going to go very light, very light. Kind of blend it. Just blend it. I hate when these things come out. Okay, get that off of there. Very nice. Now the one thing about magic white too is it'll help it stay wet for a couple of days, so you can work on this. If you don't get it done in one day, you can come back and work on it. Alright, so what we're going to do then, we're going to, okay, so we varied the pressure so that we get like an illusion of clouds too. We want like some cloud looks in here. So with varying the pressure like I'm doing, this looks like a little cloud in here. So that's good. That's good stuff. Just kind of smooth it down. Just work it across. Very lightly, just go across. So we get all those lines out. And then if you don't like the clouds the way they are, you can always wipe some out here. You can just wipe some out, which I'm doing right now. Just wiping it out, making some little clouds up here with your paper towel. Just wipe it out. And I'm just going in a circular motion like that. So we get the illusion of a cloud in there. Alright. Alright, so I'm going to reload my brush. And we're going to do the same thing with the bottom here. We're going to, the bottom third, we're going to use horizontal strokes. So we're going to go this way. Instead of vertical, we're going to go down because we want the illusion of water. If you run out of paint, you put more on your brush. We're going to put that brush aside. Now we're going to get a clean blending brush, same size, and we are going to soften this with light pressure, vertical strokes. We're just going to go kind of like across, like this, and I'm just going one direction. Oops, sorry. Losing my, okay, come around this way. Just light pressure, nothing heavy. Trying to get that a little straighter. I'm gonna put some more of this in here. Okay. So I'm going to go this way very lightly, come back. Now it looks like water, see? Just light. Okay, there we go. You'll have different colors in here, shades, because that's the way it's supposed to be. Alright, so I'm going to put that aside. Now, we're going to work with our mountains up in here now. We're going to get some mountainous areas in here. So right now, this is the way it looks. You have this right here that's a little empty. And that's why we want it that way, because we don't want to make colors in here that don't work. So I'm going to get my little palette knife like I had before that I was mixing with. And we're going to put equal parts of phthalo blue. So we're going to pull out some phthalo blue and some of our cad red. Equal parts. We're going to mix those. We get a very deep purpley color. And this is going to be our base. We're going to mix the some white and phthalo blue. And that's going to be our shadow colors. So I'll show you what we have here. I'm going to add a little more phthalo blue to that. Nothing too deep. That's our shadow. It's not going to be as deep as that. Okay. All right. So we have our base and we have our shadow, and white is going to be our highlight with this. So what we're going to do is we're going to use our palette knife with the base here. We're going to load up our palette knife. We have a nice load of paint on there. You can see that. Kind of like get that on the other side too. Alright, so we're going to hold the knife almost flat against the canvas, okay? And we're going to create some of these beautiful mountainous areas here. So we're going to start about right here, I think. We're going to get the initial shape of the peaks and everything. So we just want to kind of like get up in there, get the initial shape. Got to get some more of that on my palette here. Kind of just work it down, work it down. Just kind of like that. Get this real high here. Bring it down in. Your mountains can be any which way you want them. They don't have to be like mine. I'm just putting these in the way I feel the mountains should be. But you can do whatever you like because this is your painting. So whatever kind of mountain you want to put in here, you put in. We're just going to scrape that on down. Kind of get this a bit better here. Just kind of work it down. Get them a little bit more peaky. Now this painting is a request, a snowy mountain. That's what we're doing. I had posted on Facebook regarding what people would like to see me paint. So I got a lot of beautiful ideas, and I'm excited because we're going to have a lot of fun. We are going to definitely have lots of fun with this. You're just kind of painting with your palette knife. Lots of fun, this painting. Lots of fun. And I'm just pulling it out to there. Just kind of like getting it to the end here. Alright. Okay, now, so I'm going to just scrape some more of this off because we don't want a lot of paint on here. Just kind of scrape some of it off. Make sure it's filled in a little bit, you know. I haven't done a William Alexander painting for some time, so it's kind of fun for me too. There we go. Beautiful mountains. What do you think? Sitting in the distance there, it looks good. All right. Now we're gonna, okay, we have to decide which side is the light source. So the light source in this painting, look at, I got my fingers all dirty already, is coming from the right. So this would be the right of the painting, and this is where the light source is coming. So we want to put some nice highlights on the right side of some of these mountains. Now I'm going to not use this palette knife now. I'm going to use this one. And I'm going to grab some of my white, pull it off to the side here, load up my palette knife, and what we're going to do, grab a nice little area of, if you can see that, a nice little roll here, and we're going to start to put some of the highlights on the side here of the mountains. So we're just going to go lightly with this because it'll adhere. So we just want to kind of lightly and pull it down. Just pull it down. Okay. Just kind of like pull it down in and just let it flow off of the palette knife. Just let it flow. Okay, so right in here we're going to get some of that too. Just lightly let it flow, let it break up, because when it breaks up like that, it looks more natural. Probably going to need some more white here. You just want that little roll on the edge of the brush. You can see that, I don't know. Look at how nice that's starting to shape up. Isn't that beautiful? We'll get this here just lightly, just lightly. That was a little thick, but it's okay. Get that up in there. Okay. Get some in here. Come down. Same in here. Come down. Okay. All right, so now we got some highlights on the right sides of the mountain, and we're gonna clean this knife off, and we're gonna go in with some of our shadow mixture and put it on the left side. So we're gonna load up our, just doing the same procedure, just, clean it. Then we're going to use our blending brush. Now watch whenever we do this, because we're going to pull some of this down. So I got a nice little roll of paint on my palette knife. Let me just mix this up a little bit better. Okay, so I got my roll. Got my little roll on there. Alright, so we're just going to kind of pull that down in. Just tapping it in very lightly. Need a new roll here. Come down and just follow the peaks. Follow them down. kind of just bring it on down. You want some of that dark to show through, so you got to make sure you do that. You know, you don't want to, that's why you're doing this very lightly. You don't want to have to cover up your dark mountain shade. Just lightly. So you're holding it flat against the canvas. Just flat, pulling it down. Oh, I love them. What do you think? Oh, they look gorgeous. They look gorgeous. Okay, I'm wiping off my palette knife. Now what I'm going to do is get my blending brush again, and I'm going to wipe this off, make sure it's clean. Actually, I could go into my mineral spirits. I'm going to get my roll here, because this has to be really dry. After you do the mineral spirits, it has to be pretty dry. So we're just going to tap this very lightly, like this, because what we want to do is get a just an idea that this is a mist down and through here. The mist at the bottom of the mountains. You know how Bob Ross always says there's a mist at the bottom? Well, this mountain has mist also. We're going to mist this up. Tapping it, tapping it, tapping it. And we're just using the quarter of the brush right here, this part of the brush. We're just tapping it down, just kind of, oops, didn't want that there. Let's see if we can get that off of there. Tapping it down, tapping it. Let's see if I can get that cleaned up here. Ooh, no. Yeah. Well, you know what we're going to do? We are going to put another mountain in. Right here. It's going to be a little, just a tiny little mountain. Just something like that. Goes off here. And we'll put a little shade in there. Because it's really the other side of the mountain. It's not a... Tap that down in there. Tap it down. Okay, so we got the mist going here now. This is very nice. Just tapping it down. Just kind of like go over it like this. Just a little bit. The clean side here. Blending it down in. Tapping it, very nice, very small, soft, very soft, very softly, just going into that area. Well, that looks beautiful. I love those mountains. What do you think? I just think they look perfect, perfect. Now, I'm going to stop for a minute. I want to go wash my hands because I don't like that stuff being on my hands. So give me a minute. Okay. So our next step here, got my hands pretty well cleaned off. I just didn't want that mineral spirits to be on my skin. Anyways, because that stuff soaks into your skin and that's toxic. So you got to be very careful when you're painting. I should be probably painting with gloves on, but it's so hard for me to actually feel things when I'm doing that. So I tend to not do it. Okay, so our next step is I've mixed some of that base color that we used for the mountain, And I mixed a little bit more of that. And I also mixed that base color with some white. So I'm going to show you what I have here so far. So that was the base with some white in it, and this is the base shade. So I mixed a little bit more of that. Wanted to have that, some more of that paint, because you need to have it when we're doing these trees that are going to be coming up now. So I've got my 1-inch brush. These are all Alexander brushes, and this is a foliage brush. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some trees in, and we're going to load this brush to a chisel edge. Now, a chisel edge, I'll show you what that is. So we're going to go back and forth. We're going to go back and forth very much on this. We're going to make sure we get it locked into the brush, and we're going to go back and forth so we get a nice chisel edge. Now this might not work because this brush is pretty old. I may have to use a better one than this. Let's see if I can get it. Chisel edge. That means that all those little pieces are going to come together, hopefully. We go back and forth to a chisel edge, which I'm not getting with that brush. So I do have a new one, so I'm going to use this one. See if it works better. I'm going to probably have to mix some more of my color, because all that color went into that brush. So let me mix some more. And what you're going to do is add just a touch of cad yellow to this base shade. Just a touch. Because I guess we want a little green showing through, so it's not all blue. Alright, let's see if we can get a chisel edge to this new brush. Same thing, 1-inch brush, just a little bit newer. Because when they changed this painting course, I went and got as many brushes as I could at a decent price, because we used to get a discount on these, and it would be great because people that this is not working out. Oh, there we go. There we go. And people that we taught, we kind of like wanted to give them the advantage of you know, being able to buy the supplies at a reasonable price. Okay, so this is a chisel edge. So what we're going to do now, we're going to kind of come over here like this. I don't want to, okay, and what we want to do here is, let me see here. We're just going to come down like this. Just like this, and we're going to kind of like alternate back and forth. But we want, actually I don't really like the way this is working, so I'm going to get a different brush, something that I feel better with, something that has a little bit more of a, that one just doesn't have the oomph that I need. This has to have some oomph. Okay, so maybe this is better, yeah. So you're just coming down, kind of giving different, just coming down like this. Just going back and forth, kind of like that. Because you want these trees to just, and you can do this even in your acrylic paintings. You don't need to kind of, you know, just going to make little ones through here. Just come down a little bit more. But you're just tapping into the paint. Make sure your edge, your brush has that nice chiseled edge. Just lightly tap. Just going over, kind of just in that misty area, but you know, let some of that mist show through. Want some of that mist to show through. So these are all different sizes of trees. Make them different sizes. You do not want to have everything being the same size. So you're just going to kind of try to do your your trees different sizes so they doesn't all look like the same size. Tapping, tapping, tapping. You're just tapping and you're holding your brush horizontally, not vertically, horizontally. I'm going back into my paint, making sure that I get that nice chiseled edge. If I feel that I'm losing my edge, I will go back in. And these just have to be very light, see-through trees. Alright, so we're going to wipe that off. Alright, and then we want to use this brush here and just kind of bring it on down, making it nice and soft down here. Just bringing it on down. Bring it on down. Just soften it. Bring it down. We're going to be putting other trees in here too. Okay. Okay, now we're going to go into the light mixture and we're going to make a row of lighter trees. We're just going to put it on the lower left here. Let's see. I just want to check this picture here. Yeah, the lower left. And through here. So, just want to bring that down a little bit more. Because I'm looking at the picture of how he has this. So we're really going to have to bring some of this down in here a little bit more. Maybe some of these trees will come in a little bit heavier down through here. Instead of, maybe I should come down a little bit further here with this. Just a little bit more with this heavier duty paint here, making these trees a little bit higher. Yeah, I just kind of look at the picture and how it's done. Now, you're not going to have a stencil for this, unfortunately, because there is no way of doing that with this painting. You're going to just be doing this a little bit more like free-handed. And I think you'll be all right with that. Now we can bring this one down. Now we can bring it on down. Much better, much better. Bring it down. dragging it down, dragging it down. Now on this side, we are going to paint a little bit lighter. I'm going to add a little bit more white to this. We're going to put some trees in here with the lighter light. That's still too dark. I think this might be better here. Okay. Much better. Should be a little lighter, but that's okay. We're just going to do the left-hand side here. Going to come down, 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 down. Because as you get to the front here, or towards the front, things get lighter. They're darker further away. Always remember that. Dark recedes, light comes forward. Put some of these trees in between here. And just put some of them up in there too. Just a few. It doesn't have to be like those are going to be further away. So, and we're going to bring down this also. Just kind of like brush it like that. Kind of blend it into that blue there. And I'm going to get some of that blue and blend it up a little bit. I do want the, oopsie, this to be a little bit more like that. Just blend it together. Kind of mist it up a little bit. Get some of that blue on my big brush, my 2-inch brush. Just kind of like blending it. We did it like this. Bringing it down. Now blend it over. Horizontal and vertical. I'm going to bring those trees right on down into the water. Just lightly go this way. But we want those trees to be down in here, see? Bring them down, bring them down. That's a reflection of those in the water. Okay? All right, so far so good. All right, so I'm going to put some more white out onto my palette. And we're going to draw a shoreline onto this. Or we're going to actually use water lines. So we're going to get our palette knife, the one that we used for doing the mountain, adding mountain water to that. Okay, I'm going to go into my white again. Just kind of like going back and forth with my palette knife. and we're going to put in our shoreline. So our shoreline is where this all kind of meets here. Just very lightly go in, let it drag, let it drag, let it drag. Just like that. If you find you got too much on there, you can just kind of lift it off here. We'll fix that. I think. I think we'll fix that. Just need that little roll. Just lightly go through, lightly go through. You can bring this one down, make a shoreline that's a little bit out there. Drag it, drag it, drag it. Just drag it out. Just like that. Okay. Get that shoreline up in there. It's a little bit more in through here as you get closer. So that's why I'm kind of pulling some of that out into this. It's snowy, so that's why you got your white. Just going to pull it through here. Put some nice little squiggles in for the water, showing of the water. So let's get some more of those in. Let's get some more. Yeah, we'll just put a few in here. Just some squigglies. There's a water. Icy, icy water. Okay, just put my fingerprint in that. Okay, so got that in. Oh, that's really looking pretty. I like it. All right, so now we're going to do something over here. We're going to put some nice little trees in. What we're going to do is mix up a little bit of the phthalo blue, touch of permanent red, and a touch of titanium white. So I got to get some more of my phthalo blue out. So you're just using a touch. You're not using a lot. And we are going to put a touch of phthalo blue. We're going to get some phthalo blue. Let me wipe off my little mixer here. Okay, so let's see what we're going to do here. Get some of the phthalo blue. Whoops. Phthalo blue. We're going to mix a little bit of the red, just a touch, and I think I have just enough on my palette here. Touch of that red. Maybe a little touch more. Might have to put a little bit more out on my palette here. Yeah, paint like this, when you're painting like this, it goes pretty fast. Pretty darn fast. So get a little touch of red. And a touch of the white. Just a touch. Okay. And then we're going to get some reflected light, which is titanium white, and a touch of the phthalo blue. So I'm just going to put a touch of that into my white. And I think I'm going to need a little bit more white on my palette. Oh, it looks pretty. I love it. It looks really nice. That phthalo blue goes pretty far. It's pretty intense, so just a touch is all you need, and it'll still be dark. That's amazing. Okay. So let's get our foliage brush and clean it off. Clean it up. Stuff everywhere here. Okay. So I got my foliage brush. Alright, I got this nice and clean. And we're going to use that mixture of phthalo blue, permanent red, and the touch of white. I'm going to load this, and this can have like a rounded edge. So we're not having to go to a point here. So a rounded edge is like this, okay? Now over here, because this is coming forward, we are going to put some of our trees in here, and we're just going to use enough pressure to bend the bristles. So we're going to lift the brush off the canvas after each stroke. So we're going to start here, and I'm going to move this over a little bit. Start right here. So we're just going to tap it like that. See? Tap. Tap, 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 tap. So we're just making some trees here. Probably load up some more. And what you want to do is kind of just make these all different ways. Don't make them all the same. But you're just kind of like tapping it lightly. Kind of just coming on down. This is a tree. And you're just making a nice, making it look just like a tree. Okay? So you don't want to have it all the same. You want to kind of come in there, tap it in, lift it, tap it in, lift it. Now we're going to come down to about right there. I don't want to go any further than that. Let's put another one. We're just going to put another one, possibly right here. Just another one. Just a smaller tree. Just a smaller tree. Okay. Another one right here. Just a little bit of a brush. Okay. So we're going to fill it in. Just fill this in. With this tapping motion. Maybe just put some more bush in here. Just tap it in. Okay. Nice big brush there. So we're going to use a nice clean palette knife. We're going to put some nice little chunks in. So we're just going to use the palette knife, this one. We're just going to come up through here, just cutting them in. Making it look like there's little chunks. You want to make sure you see them, so I'm kind of pressing hard. You don't want to press too hard though, but you do want to make sure that people can see these. Let me just push another one in there. Get this. So if you make a mistake, just push it again. Again. That's all. Oops. However is easiest for you to get these in. You want to do. Just want to do them like that. Okay, so we got our tree trunks without making too many. You don't want it to be overly done. Now, you can also put some in through here if you want. Just a couple little trees, trunks here. You don't have to go crazy with it. Just to make it look like there's tree trunks in these trees back here. Okay. All right. Now we're going to tap in randomly with our lighter mixture. We're not cleaning the brush. We're just going into our lighter shade, kind of making the round like that. And we're going to just put some of this on top. Not crazy. We're not going to go crazy with this. Just here and there, because you can really overdo it. We're not trying to overdo. We just want to put a little bit in here. It kind of looks like snow, you know, that has been on the trees. Give it a little texture, little dimension. Like that. Just kind of giving it a little dimension here without giving it too much. Okay. All right, so we did that now. Okay, now I'm going to go into my white, just pure white, which I need more on my canvas, my palette paper. I'll put more white. Okay, white gets used a lot in painting. A lot. Okay, so I'm going into the white, doing the same thing, just onto the right side here, right side of my trees. You're not putting a lot on, remember. This is just the right side here. We're just showing that there's snow, okay? Okay, just a little, maybe some right in there. Okay, awesome. Very pretty. All right. Okay, so we're going to load our palette knife with clean white. So I'm going to grab some of that white that I just put out, move it over here out of the way. And we are going to put in a very nice little area here. And we're just going to go very lightly. Of snow. Just a nice little area of snow. A little bit more of that white. Load up my palette knife. Kind of just come down here like that. You just want to lightly go through this. Just adding that little area. Kind of like a little hill. So we put in that stuff, but we really didn't need it, did we? Well, it gave you a little bit of playtime. And then it gives a little bit of texture for my snow. Okay? A little bit of texture here. Just kind of give it a little bit of lay of the land here. Just kind of giving it, yeah, like that. Pulling it down. There we go. All right. All right, so now we're going to mix a little bit more of that trunk base. We're going to make a trunk. So we're going to get phthalo blue, and more of the phthalo blue, some of that red, and a touch of the cad, because we're going to make a tree trunk here. Cad yellow. Okay, cad yellow. And then we're going to make some bark. Now I got to get more white on my... So we're going to get some titanium white for the bark. Permanent red and cad yellow. So I'm going to move some of that cad yellow. Get these out of my way here. Cad yellow. And some red. Let's see here. Oh, I kind of made a mistake with that. Okay. So we're just going to put a touch of that cad yellow in the white and a touch of the red in there. That red's pretty strong too. So I may be adding a little bit more white to my palette here. Okay. And just grabbing this mixture. My hands are all messed up again. I'm almost done, so I'm going to just continue. My hands are bad, but I just want to continue to get this done. Okay? All right. There, that's nice. So, this is the way it should be. Okay, that's that one that I just mixed right here, right here. Very light, very light. Okay, very, very light. Wipe that off. Get some more of my paper towels. Okay. So we're going to make this tree. I'm still be using this palette knife here. I'm going to use the base color that I just mixed. That's with the phthalo blue, red, and a touch of the cad. Alright. Now let's see, we're going to put a tree in here. And I think we're going to put that tree right here. Just going to drag it down, drag it down, drag it down, drag it down. Whoops! And hope that you're, just drag it down, drag it down. We're going to touch right in there, okay? So let's get some more of that on there. So let's go in here, kind of just drag it down. I'm going to pull it. I'm going to pull it. Pull it over. Okay? Just pull it. It's getting wider as it goes to the base. Okay, I'm going to pull it this way now. Well, actually, I'm going to get more of my paint on that palette knife. And I'm going to go just pulling it down, pull it down, pull it down, pull it down, just to fill in all those little spaces that I made here. And your tree isn't going to be straight. It doesn't need to be straight. You know, make it a little crooked. It's a dead tree. It's dead. Okay? Now, let's get that bark mixture on there. And we're going to okay, let's get that bark mixture, which was the light red. Alright, so we're just going to kind of, let's see, I want to see what this, let me think here. Let me think here. What I want to do, I want to load it on the palette knife, and we're going to hold it vertically like this. So we are going to just get it on this side section right there, the smaller section. And we're just going to tap this right in the center, kind of like pull it. Just tap it in there, like that. Okay. Grab some more. Alright, we're pulling it over. From center to the edge here. Because now you got to remember that the sun is coming from the right side. Ooh. Alright, I'm not going to mess with that anymore. Okay, so now I'm going to get my liner brush. I'm pretty sure I have one in here. Yes, I do. So this is a little script liner, if you can see that. And I'm going to load this with the base mixture. That was that one. Now I'm going to go into my mineral spirits. And I'm going to work that like an inky-like consistency, like that. And I'm going to hold my brush in the back, not up here, but back here. And I'm going to put some branches on this dead tree. And when you do your branches, do not make them straight. Coming in from the trunk and going out. From the trunk and out. Make sure that your brush is rounded. Let's get some other pieces on here. less is more. Just remember, less is more. So let's see here. We didn't get this dark enough, but I think I'm going to just come down with that. Let's get a little bit more of that mineral spirits. Just want to be able to see them. All right. All right, so we're going to get a little bit of that accent shade that we have there. Ooh, didn't really do what I wanted it to do. Shoot, but that's all right. I'll just put a little bit on here just to accent some of it with some snow. And I think we are finished. So I can see that I have made a boo-boo right here with my fingers because I kept grabbing it. Whoops, nothing like dropping the brush. So I just want to smooth that out a little bit. I do want to put a little bit more of the some lines down in through here with my palette knife. With white, just going to grab a little white here, put some more of those like here, because you do have ripple effects down in through here. And then I'm going to just put a little bit of the dark blue underneath some of that, just to give it a little accent here. Just a little. Okay. Alright, so now it's time to sign it. And I want to see if I have a red pen. I would like to sign it in red. And I do have a red one. But I think this turned out really nice. What do you think, guys? I'd like to hear your comments. I'd like to hear what you think. If you'd like to see more like this, I've got a slew of Alexander work that we can work from. Okay. And I'm sure that we can enjoy this all together. Yes. Unfortunately, this paint does not want to work. Okay, let's see. I might have to do this by hand or when it dries a little bit. So I'm going to just wipe that off. Get that off of there. And put some more of my blue mixture here. Got the trees and the highlights. Yeah, so like I said, I hope you liked this. I hope you enjoyed this painting because I sure enjoyed making it. And I guess until next time, we'll see you next time. Oh, sorry about my hands. Talk to you soon. Enjoy your day and enjoy the painting.